second round of the NFL playoffs kick off this weekend, and there's no shortage of drama. The #1 seed, Philadelphia Eagles, will go up against the #6 Atlanta Falcons as underdogs on Saturday. And that's largely due to the injury of MVP caliber quarterback Carson Wentz. And in the AFC, the Patriots are facing the Tennessee Titans, and there are reports of cracks in the relationship between the Patriots quarterback coach and owner. CBS Sports writer and the host of Reiter Than You, Bill Reiter, is here to talk to me about all of this and much more. Saturday's game, they're calling one of them sort of the Battle of the Birds, the Falcons versus the Eagles. Who do you think is going to come out on top?
You know, I think it's going to be Atlanta for a few reasons, and I know that Philly fans feel like they're being disrespected because they have the #1 seed, but there's a reason this is the first time in the history of the NFL playoffs where the #1 seed in the divisional round of the playoffs arena is not favored. You noted it, Carson Wentz is gone. They're a vastly different football team when he is. And this is an Atlanta Falcons team that made the Super Bowl last year, lost in heartbreaking fashion. It clearly affected them early in the season, but I think they're getting their mojo and their swagger back at the right time for them and the wrong time for Philly.
You know, you and I have been rehashing the stuff over the Patriots and the drama there. But is this really a game versus the Tennessee Titans? I mean, do you just think it's already over?
Only if you have money on it and you're trying to figure out whether you want to go on this one side of the 2-touchdown line. No, I mean, with all respect to the Titans, and it was a good win against the Chiefs, they're not in the same caliber, even remotely, as the Patriots. And the weird thing about New England, unlike some other teams, including some that are still playing, when they have dysfunction, when they have anger, when they have a schism between some of the folks in that organization, for whatever reason, whether it's Deflategate or Spygate, or now this problem between the owner and the head coach and the quarterback, it brings them together. They're like a dark Jedi. They do well when they go to the dark side of the Force. I think they're going to be just fine. You
know, it's interesting, though. You never root out anyone because you never know, right? People like to root for underdogs sometimes.
Any given Sunday, and everyone in America outside of Boston will be rooting for the Titans. I just don't know if there's another miracle coming from Music City.
I got to ask you about these other matchups here. The favorite matchup, Minnesota Vikings versus New Orleans Saints. This is one of your favorites. Why?
I love this game because both of these teams are more than capable of winning the whole thing. They obviously have to play against each other, and it's a tale of vastly different quarterbacks and teams. For New Orleans, who's on the road, you've got Drew Brees, Hall of Famer, all-time great, nearing the end of his career, obviously been respected for a very long time. And that running game that got shut down last week. But it's a really interesting dynamic offensively, and the Saints' defense is pretty good. For the Vikings, they're arguably one of the best teams in football. They're the second most likely team, according to Vegas, in terms of the odds to win it all. And yet their quarterback, Case Keenum, is the opposite of Brees. He's been a journeyman QB, has been widely respected. I have been totally incorrect on this guy all year long on the radio and here on CBSN, so I'm done criticizing him. But he still is a guy that people don't believe in, and so it's an interesting clash of two very successful teams, but we view them very differently.
Speaking of criticizing, and on your show, I got to ask you about this next. It didn't escape us. We are following you. That this matchup between Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. A lot of these games this weekend are a tale of two quarterbacks, right?
They really are.
Why did you sort of poke fun at the quarterback from Jacksonville comparing himself to LeBron James?
I was very mean to Blake Bortles because Blake Bortles needs people to be mean to him to just keep it. Look, Blake Bortles had a terrible, he was atrocious. He's lost his confidence. He had more rushing yards than passing yards in that win, but not in like a good kind of old school Mike Vick way, and I don't know how to throw the football anymore, and that's a problem because I'm a quarterback. So his response was to come out and tell media members, if they criticize LeBron, they'll criticize me. Blake, you're my guy. I'm rooting for you. I'm not rooting against you, at least. Please do not compare yourself to LeBron James.
All right. I'd like to compare myself to LeBron James,
I would too, but people would roll their eyes.
It's just irresistible. Bill Reiter, thank you for joining us.
You bet.